Welcome to the First 40 Sports Show. I'm just going to call us the squad, and I'll tell you why a little bit later. With Black Thor, Icewater, and Puma, we're going to go to hot takes. And Ice, I'm thinking a hot take should be Otani, but you choose your hot take, man. Pete,
No, I mean I
Pete
like
Rose to
that.
the Hall of Fame.
I like that Otani thing. It's just so hilarious, man, because when you think about Otani as to what happens and what's the truth, right? And everybody is whatever they're saying is trying to figure it out. But the question is, we know there was some money exchanged, right? Somebody had a supposed serious gambling debt. They want to put it on the interpreter, but some folks are saying because they're trying to do that so they can save face for Otani. But on the flip side, though, is if he was gambling, and going through his guy, and then particularly with overseas bookies, those that know about overseas bookies know what I'm talking about. I'm just gonna leave it right there. If they can't, they call you ain't gotta worry about it now, but that's known for how they do it. But for somebody on such a large scale, I guess my thing real quick is just what blows me away is the fact that that's your boy. That's like his best friend before he even made it. So is he taking the L just to say yes, to save face for him, like got you down the line or whatever? But it ain't like that, man. When I first heard it, I was blown away because I thought they were like he was like stealing $4 million from Otani. I was like, ain't no way possible. Your boy too, and you don't know about it. 10,000 even. I might go 4 million. Nah, oh, there's something to that. So, however they do it is going to be very interesting. I'll leave it there.
Black?
Yeah, that's my thing too, man. It's like 4.5 million. And then you act like he was just taken out of your account. One day you woke up and he looked at your phone. Wait a minute, where's this money going? Like I was saying earlier before we started this, man, I'm not surprised, bro. It's too easy now. And you look at these young cats, and the marketing is all targeted towards young males, man, to gamble, to get out there and gamble. So you figure basically with all this money you have a lot of free time. You get caught up in it. That's what they want, man. The thing about it, we would, to my understanding, we would know none of this if there wasn't an investigation going on with the bookie or whoever they're using to make the bets. They're their investigation. That's how his name got caught up in it. For the most part, they basically pulled his name in or his interpreter in. Outside of that, we didn't know. So it tells you realistically, does Major League Baseball, did they know kind of looking the other way? But as I said earlier, before we started, I can't see any way possible they're gonna allow this to taint him because right now he's the face of the league, domestically, internationally. He's the face, man. So they're gonna do all they can to kind of keep this clean, do what they got to do and keep it moving. Too much is at stake.
Yeah, if they do that, which I expect them to do that, you got to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. I'm sorry. you got if they do, oh, nothing to see here, it's all cool, because he's the face of the league at this particular time. There's a lot at stake right now, baseball integrity. Who knew? FanDuel, DraftKings, MGM Bet, ESPN got a betting. What could go wrong? What could go wrong? So it's like, you said that earlier, Black. Like you're in bed with all these folks. You got to think that somebody out there on a sports team is saying, "I'll bet on another sport, but I won't bet on my sport, or I'll put some bets in, or I'll get somebody to bet for me, so I can, I like to bet, I like to gamble, so I got the money to do it. I'm going to do it." But I expect this thing to get swept under the rug. Then maybe a few more months later, Pete Rose will be like, you know what? We've been thinking a little bit. And so, yeah, I just see Ice over there shaking his head. Going back to you, man. Go ahead.
Please. So let me just say this. I'm born and raised in Ohio. Well, huge Big Red Machine, Big Red Machine fan. And I'm gonna tell you this. This is I ain't saying it's different, but the way they look at P Rose is different. And I'm gonna tell you why. I think I told you this before. They were so desperate because to get Pete Rose that they told him to sign a paper to say that he did something wrong. They didn't even specify it. They said you did something wrong. We ain't gonna say what it is. Just say you did something wrong. Then we will make you eligible to be considered for the Hall. So he's technically eligible to be considered for the Hall. He's just not getting in until he died. And I'm gonna tell you why. Simply because he and allegedly Pete Rose and Bart Giamatti, who was the commissioner at the time, had this thing going on, and Bart Giamatti had heart problems. He was a smoker, chain smoker, and drinking stuff. And some people will say that Pete Rose led to the illness, the serious illness of Bart Giamatti and his death. And y'all think I'm keeping it 100. It's allegedly, that's my thing. I'm gonna roll with it. Following up, taking over after Bart Giamatti passed, the guy that took over was Fay Vincent, became the next commissioner, who is his right-hand man. And as much as Pete Rose tried to do whatever, they did what they had to do to secure Pete Rose right where they wanted him. And now you say why Pete Rose hasn't gotten in is because no commissioner, we done went through Bud Selig, we got Manfred right now, no commissioner wants to be known as the guy that let Pete Rose in. I think he will die before he gets here. As soon as he dies, automatically. I'm just telling you. So that's where it's different. Ohtani still got a lot more years to go. And whatever it is, and Ohtani damn sure ain't gonna say he bet on baseball. He said he bet on lacrosse or polo or cricket, and he ain't gonna admit he did it. His dude gonna take the L, but his dude gonna get that money. Because last but not least on this for me, Ohtani still got that $700 million in escrow. He might not get paid today, but in 10 years, 5 years, when nobody else think about it, he gonna get his coin.
Your hot take, man.
Yeah, Puma, you always trying to find a way of controversy, man. I love you for that, bro. You can find a way. You get any link, you kind of roll with it. I'm gonna kind of stay in the vein as that because I was reading a story the other day, man. These coaches are saying that their fans, one coach in particular, the Cleveland Cavaliers, was saying that fans basically during the game, end of the game, are saying to him do things so they can get to the point spread. He's had people basically found his home address, his home numbers, complaining that they lost money, blah, blah, blah. And we're not hearing about this. There was a story also last year where Miami, behind the bench, had to remove a guy. He was so outraged that they basically, I think they wanted the point guard at the end of the game to do a three-point shot. So they could basically, the game was basically over. So they would cover the spread. It's gotten to the point where these fans are starting to act crazy with these coaches, and the NBA is not saying a damn thing about it. Nothing. Just want to get you guys a opinion on it. Get your opinion on it.
Ice?
Yeah, I've heard that, but I can see that. I mean, because that lets people get more involved, right? You on there, you look for the shot. But if I told Puma, and I say he's a gambler, but if I told Puma, certain things they set you up for. Dude, first of all, y'all keep it 100. I don't know much about gambling. I heard about it on TV. Anyway, dude, the parlays are set up for you to lose, bruh. You can't win at parlays. You want to win? Straight up bets or box a little something. You can't win parlays. How you gonna win? How you think they're gonna say bet $10 and you win $2 million? They do it all the time. They know what they doing. What are the chances of that? They set you up for fail. But getting back to the point, these NBA coaches, they just got to realize, look, man, y'all get paid too much money. Now, I do say security should be tightened up, whatever. I think the fans are too damn close anyway, but they doing it for the money. And you got to realize you got to do some investigations to who's getting those seats. But as a coach, man, look, okay, they might be saying or whatever. Dude, you average what about? The hell you make a year? About $9-10 million? You worry about somebody whispering behind you, talking about I'm mad, I got a 3-point shot. You can have anybody removed that you want to. I mean, I feel them. I want to know who the coach was, because damn sure they ain't winning. They ain't winning whoever it was. Because do you think the Denver Nuggets coach is going, man, you should let a boy grab that rebound. I lost $20,000. Dude, like, man, remove that motherfucker and make sure he don't get out. Ain't nobody worried. There's too much money involved. I hear what you said. I agree with what they may be saying, but man, there's too much money. They ain't worried about the little man. They ain't worried about that little dude whispering. Even if he is 5 rows up or where he is, no, they ain't worried about that, bro. It's a machine.
Yeah, I wasn't aware of that either, but I'm not surprised. And I think a lot of people are in a lot of people's ears when it comes to betting and that parlay bet. Ice is on the money there. Those parlays, unless you make up your own, nah, it ain't gonna happen. It ain't gonna happen. But I saw the other night, James Harden threw a assist to Kawhi Leonard, then try to block it, get the rebound, and then put up a shot. And I'm like, something strange about this. I mean, trying to block your own player's shot, so you wouldn't get the assist, he wouldn't get the 3-pointer, and then you take a one of those James Harden specials and a 3-pointer special, and you don't make the shot. So I'm like, something's really wrong here. And I've been suspecting that of James Harden for a long time. Allegedly, somebody's in his ear. Allegedly, somebody's in his ear kind of throwing these games because the regular season James Harden is not the playoff season James Harden. And I know there's a lot of money in the playoffs. But I wasn't aware of that. But Black, I'm not surprised at all. I mean, it's too easy for folks to do this now. And everybody's betting now. They make it so easy. They give you money to bet when you start off. It's too easy.
It's crazy. I think this is the tip of the iceberg, bro. I really do. The coach, I think, was the coach of the Cleveland Cavaliers. I think what's his name right now. And the coach of Miami, of course, the head coach of Miami, when basically committed to the article. But it's getting crazy, bro. It's getting nuts. And I think we just starting out. Really do. I think that I think they haven't realized they have let some gorillas out of the cages. These bastards gonna be beating our cages down, man. Gambling is a whole different animal. And I don't think these sports franchises realize what they started years ago. I remember for a long time, NFL wanted nothing to do with gambling. They knew what was going on. They wouldn't welcome it. Now you got a team in Las Vegas. You know, you basically got these guys sponsoring all this stuff, bro. It's about to get crazy.
All right, folks, you know why we're here. You know why we're really here. It's March Madness. First and second round are gone. And you know, Black suggested it this week. I know we've been doing it all along, but Black says, "Hey, give out the scores. Give out who's in the lead." And guess what, folks? I'm in the lead. I'm leading 47 points. Black is behind me, 46 points. Mr. Icewater, 44 points, and Pop is bringing up the rear with 39 points. And we're going into the Sweet 16. And I want to get the final four from everybody because last week, three of us on the squad here picked the same team. Now, all year, Black been saying, UConn. Oh, I don't trust them. I don't like them. They shouldn't be number one. They're kind of weak. Guess who? But I'll let him tell you. Go ahead, Black.
See, all I can say is when you're two-time champion, this is the type of rhetoric that you get, folks, ladies and gentlemen. That's what you get. I mean, he got me by 1 point. You think I'd be happy about that? He's worried about who I'm picking for the most part. There's no need to be worried about who I'm picking. But I looked at the brackets, man. When I look at what UConn was facing, I mean, everyone basically talk up FU and all that stuff like that. I was like, I'm sorry, man, I just don't see it, bro. I just don't see UConn basically going down. Not saying they won't, but I just didn't see them going down. The Final Four, man, when you say that, I'm looking around. I got Houston kind of going all the way, playing UConn. I'm a little scared for Houston. I ain't gonna lie. I'm a little scared. It might turn out to be Purdue more so than Houston. And then I kind of looked at what North Carolina was up against. And to me, North Carolina, for some reason, when they play a team that don't punk them, they play well. And I looked at some of the teams that could possibly face. I didn't see them getting punked. So I kind of roll basically UConn, North Carolina, Purdue, and Houston. Houston has a big scare the other night, last night. Big scare. Their top five fouled out. They still found their way to win the game. So hopefully this few days do them some good. But I'll say this about the score right now. See it and don't see it. Because next week is going to be separation week, bro. And if you look at what they say for the max, you might be 1 point ahead of me. But make sure to tell the folks what the max score potentials is. That's what you tell them. Because that's where the hidden gem is right there, the max.
Potential. Potential. Ice, give me your Final Four and your pick, because you're the only one that picked another team.
And I told Puma this. I said, but I wasn't gonna tell him what I was thinking. But I stand on my own. I told Puma I was doing too much, but I stand on what I did. I looked at my bracket. I was like, that's the wrong damn bracket. I tried to do two at the same time. And I looked up and I was like, oh, I'm cool. I was like, oh my God, what the hell did I do? But I stand on it because I did it. But I looked, so my Final Four was UConn, Purdue, Kentucky. I was like, I had chose Houston. I was like, I put the wrong bracket up, but I stand on it. I made the choice and I'm still okay with it. That's what grown men do. They stand on their mistakes even. They do what they do and they don't so, well, if I would have had more time. No, I'm going to stand on this because my other Final Four selection is Arizona. And now I looked at the whole bracket and I know, I thought UConn's a hell of a team. I mean, I've been watching them and Houston is, man, they should have lost that game last night, but that's for another story. But the fact is that Texas A&M missed those many free throws. That's probably one of the best games I've seen in a long time. I mean, it was just action-packed dunks. I thought I was watching old Houston, Five Slamma Jam versus Louisville. That was an amazing game, a lot of action. But UConn, I can see how they roll, and I see how they're moving forward, dominating groups. When I chose Purdue, you know, I'm really the whole point about Purdue and the guards missing those 3-pointers. I was like, I think somebody might get them, but I didn't see anybody else, particularly with Kansas not being at full strength. I didn't see anybody else that could beat them. I think Tennessee, if they make it all the way through, Tennessee can give them a real run. But I just didn't think anybody could beat Purdue on that level. That's why I put them there. Kentucky, like I said, mistake. It is what it is. But Arizona, man. The reason why I chose Arizona, I kept looking. I was trying to, I was like, maybe I'll take UConn, like Black Thor always does. No, I'm just saying. I wasn't going to do this. Because I know, I'm thinking y'all had a conference call. Y'all didn't tell me about it. But it's all good. But but the reason why I chose Arizona is because of the fact that they were up. Everybody's talking about them. And then they went down. They got beat by Florida Atlantic. And they lost a couple other games. And everybody's like, oh, they don't look that good. They perpetrating fraud. Caleb Love, blah, blah, blah. And then they start winning a few more games. And I said, you know what? This is the perfect time for them to start rolling. Because Caleb Love has already been there. And nobody expected them to do anything. And I said, the one thing about them, when Duke was hot, they won at Duke. They won some other games. And I think they can match up with anybody in the country. And one-on-one, I don't know if there's anybody in the country can check old boy when he on. And I cannot wait. Man, I don't see nothing else. And the thing, last but not least for me, is we're at Sweet 16. I was a little, I ain't gonna lie, I was nervous. I was like, man, this is over. Until we got to Sweet 16. I said Arizona made Sweet 16 and some other things can happen. I saw Houston a little shaky. I was like, Houston drop. I'm still in the mix. Because if Houston loses, UConn loses, Arizona just got to work through. The one game I do want to see, I hope it happens. I want to see North Carolina and Arizona. I think Caleb Love gonna score 69 against them. I cannot wait to see that game. But other than that, you know, hey, and I know Puma turned his mouth up because he's in first place. Like my man said, though, the whole max points really matter. But at the same time, too, if you got to realize, if all hell breaks loose, I'm right in the mix, baby. I got a shot. That's all I need is a shot. I got a shot. I got 3 of the final 4, and I got the one team that might shock the world. And I'm cool with that. Other than that, what you gonna do? Relax and enjoy the tournament.
Yeah, Arizona has to get by Clemson. Clemson's been a real powerhouse in the ACC all season. So
see that's you hating.
I'm not hating. I'm not hating. I'm not.
That's you.
Saying.
Yeah, you are. Because you know why? Because you're like, man, you know, you ain't black.
Pretty tough.
You know, well, really, that's a hater. Why don't you just roll what you got? Why you worry about my bracket? Well, you know.
I'm just saying, Clemson. I watched them a lot this year.
Let me finish. I'm just saying, why is it though? I ain't say nothing about your bracket. I say what I say. You like, well, y'all, look at it's like somebody never played basketball before. Somebody, well, you know, they need to hit 3-pointer. You ain't touched the damn ball and in a mirror. You ain't taking no shots. You just not talking about the team. See, that's how you are. See how you are? You didn't say nothing about black. You said black, I'm in first. And soon as I say my team, you know what he said, black? What he say? What he say, black? Oh, well, you know, they're going to have to
get past Clemson.
Yeah, don't ask you what editorial comment. Damn, you hating.
He called you out, Ice. That's what he's doing. He done called you out. He listens to your Sequilica and he still calling you out.
You know you got somebody that get the high pitched voice when they go you out.
Hey, no, it's cool, and I'm gonna keep that high pitched voice when we get to the next weekend. Then you gonna be high pitched.
Okay. All right. Let me get my Final Four. I believe my Final Four. I'm not looking at the screen, but I think it was Houston against Tennessee, and then UConn against, I believe, Iowa State. I think that was my Final Four. I might have been mistaken by Iowa State, but I got.
You had Baylor, bro.
Baylor?
Yeah, you got Baylor.
As the number 4?
Yes, sir.
4? Okay.
I think it's Baylor, if I'm not mistaken.
I got
either one is not
in Houston going up against each other.
Clemson.
and UConn winning at the last in the final game, and at 160 points. Because I think that's going to be a high scoring game. Yeah, UConn was the most consistent team all season. I keep saying, and I kept saying all year, they're not the same team as last year, but they find ways to beat you. They can do it in a slowdown game. They can do up tempo. They got a big man who can probably guard any big man that's in the tournament at this particular time. They like to score. They're scrappy. They got good guard play. And so I couldn't, even though I thought they were in a tough bracket, I felt that they had a shot. They had a shot to repeat as champion. And just like you saw last night with Houston, I'm not really sure about Houston sometimes, because sometimes they'll have lapses in play. They had that game controlled, and then all of a sudden the team came back, and Texas A&M came back and almost damn near won that game. And so if it wasn't for Jalen Shed, who knows? Texas A&M might have been in that spot and knocked out the first number one. Any other thoughts on there? I'm going to Ice again. Any other thoughts, man? You got a shot, though.
I mean, it's what it is. Since, I'm glad you feeling good about UConn. That's great. That's great. I'm glad you are, because at the end of the day, as long as I got a shot, I think that UConn got two big chances coming up. San Diego State plays real hard. They may not have the shooters, and then if they get out of that, they have to play like Iowa State as well. I mean, so it ain't gonna be easy. I mean, the same way when you look over at Houston, now, which in a way I'm a little bit more relieved now, because Houston came off that situation, and they got to play Duke. I've been telling them about Duke.
Oh, please, please.
And they about to pay them first right now.
You were good till you said that. You were good.
Here we go. They gonna take them down, baby.
Duke? Nah.
Duke. Let's go.
Talk about a bunch of fakers. Well, I'm still waiting to hear the max scores, man. What's the max score? That's funny, because that's where the hidden gems are right in the max. If you don't mind, give the fans the max score.
I can get the max score, but that's potential, and we can't rely on potential. I like it, boy, because you got potential.
Maybe.
Come on now, what's the max, man? What's the max?
Please give them the potential max scores. Potential.
Potential max score. Blackthorn can get 174. I can get 159. I can get 144. Pop can get 131. But if you lose a game or two, those max scores.
And like you said, and if Connecticut loses, potential, it wouldn't matter. Well, go ahead. Your turn, Blackthorn. My bad.
I agree with you, man. I agree with Connecticut. All I can say, you're right. Hit the nail right in the head. Connecticut keeps winning. Guess what? It's over, boss. It's over. They keep winning. Arizona, I don't see. I think Arizona has a good shot. I'm with you. I think they have a good shot. Connecticut has to bump his head. I don't think they will. If they do bump their head, it changes everything. But if they basically keep doing what I believe they're going to do, I mean, even with Houston going out, in my brackets, I look at Houston going out. If Purdue just keep rolling, which I think they will, North Carolina can kind of get where I need them to be. I'm still in good shape. That's what I say about Puma. I'm happy you're number one, boss. I'm happy you're there. But as long as UConn keep winning, you have to show up on that Monday night and do something, boss, because it ain't gonna be easy for you. At one point might go away real quick.
You happy? Look, you happy? I'm in first. Yeah.
Hey.
It's a little unusual, but I'm happy for you.
Yeah, it's very unusual, particularly from the standpoint now that you are really hoping that a team wins back to back. That don't happen often, bro.
Yeah, it don't happen often.
Speak with confidence, man. I'm happy for you. I'm right there with you.
It can happen.
It can happen, but then other stuff turned quick, because I swore I had UNLV was going back to back, and something crazy happened. So I'm just telling you, hey, you talk about conspiracy theory, you might want to watch that UConn situation.
Yeah, Las Vegas. Yeah. Let's go to the women's side. Any surprises on the women's side, Black?
No, not really, man. Only thing I want to say about the women's side, I think her name is Audie Crone, I think it is. Come on, man. I mean, come on, let's get real. That young lady put that team on her back and brought them back to win that game, man. Her back. And it's funny, I would say this because when people look at a typical woman basketball player, she doesn't look like it. We know she doesn't. But does she ball? Yes, sir. So I'm gonna leave it right there, man. Leave it right there.
Yeah, South Carolina steamrolling through teams in the first 2 rounds, man. There's some games on tonight. Your thoughts, man?
Yeah, I mean, the one thing that was probably heartbreaking was the fact that Ohio State lost to Duke, man. They lost to Duke at home. It was here in Columbus. And all year long, they'd been playing real well. And it was just, to me, it's pretty sad just because of the fact that I don't know what happened. They ran out of steam. I thought they could have done a lot better. Um, I do think it's going to get interesting now because you got South Carolina might end up in a matchup with Indiana. Iowa plays West Virginia. And Colorado's waiting too. I think Iowa's going to see the brunt of it though because they're going to have 3 heavy hitters if they move forward. And now I got a call from my brother saying there some people have declared Caitlin Clark the greatest college basketball player ever.
Yeah.
Ever. Don't you gotta win first? Don't you gotta win one? How many did Cheryl win? Miller win two? Didn't how many Swoops win? Didn't Candace, you broke my heart, Parker, win two? You know that I mean, so I get it. I understand the whole premise behind it and the celebration and what she's done. She's a hell of a player. But for me to be called the greatest of all time, you usually put some wins behind you, bro. You usually win because I know some great scorers in the NBA that will never ever be considered the best player ever. But again, that's your party. You can pump her up all you want to. I would love to see, and I get out this real quick. I would love to see. I don't know if it's gonna happen before the final camera looked at it like that. I would love to see Iowa versus USC. See, as they say, the third game coming out of USC. They come, they will that game will be called so tight because USC women they are monsters. But it's still great. But I still think if I had to look at it right now, and we're getting close, um, I do think South Carolina's on a mission. I do. I think Don Staley, they were pissed off. They lost last year, and I think they're gonna do everything they can just to kind of they just keep it pushing. So we'll see.
All right, let's go to big boy basketball with the NBA. Black, give me your eye test.
It's interesting, man. I can't give you much of an eye test because at this point now, it seems like there's a bunch of confusion going on about NBA basketball. I mean, college basketball kind of stepped in and took over. I see where Golden State, for the most part, want to kind of rest Curry, which I think is a good idea for the most part. I'm amazed that they're ranked number 10. Houston right now is blazing the trails, and Houston might make the play, man. Who would have thought that a few weeks ago? Houston Rockets may make the play in. And, you got the Lakers up there trying to beat up on everybody they can. And they think they're going to redo it this year and kind of come from there. I don't see it. So it's going to be interesting. But that's my take on the NBA, man, for the most part. And the East is kind of already set. Just going through the motions and just kind of basically wait for the players to start.
Okay, Ice, eye test.
Man, Boston's won 9 straight, bro. 9 straight. Wow. But the question is, what are they gonna do when they get there? Knicks doing what they do, 7-3 in their last 10. Philadelphia is in that 8th spot. I don't know. It's gonna be interesting in that East, but the West. I told y'all earlier. Y'all thought I was playing, and I'm not jumping on the Black Thor train, but Denver has quietly just moved up to first place. Quietly, they're up a half a game up on OKC. Now, when you look from the standpoint of Minnesota, kind of fell back a little bit. Clippers still hanging around. They said Zion lost 25 pounds.
Yeah.
And New Orleans is like, yeah, we're gonna be here in the mix. That'll be a dangerous matchup if they play 4-5 matchup, Clippers versus New Orleans. That might be something to look at. Phoenix is hanging on. Sacramento. Again, Dallas, man. Told y'all, yeah, hey, the wrong team playing Dallas, and those two guys, Luka and Kyrie. Like I said, you may not like Kyrie, but every once in a while, he show you how great he is, man. But if he ever wanted to play, that's the whole thing. If he ever wants to play consistently, he could be dangerous. And like you mentioned, Houston coming up, and I would like to see. I tell you what, I'd like to see the Lakers versus either Golden State in that playing game or the Lakers in Dallas. That'd be fun to watch. LeBron versus Kyrie.
Yeah, Drew Holiday you're talking about. I didn't know.
Yeah,
He
yeah,
had,
yeah, yeah.
yeah, yeah. I didn't know he had it. That's going to hurt Boston a little bit because we always said that Boston needed a point guard, and they finally got one, and all of a sudden he's hurt now. I'm looking at the Pelicans. I did read that story about Zion losing 25 pounds. They're 8-2 in the last 10. The Phoenix Suns are 7-3 in the last 10. They're trying to keep the Kings, the Mavericks, and the Lakers and Warriors off of them. In that play-in. You look back in the East, mostly the top 8 teams are pretty much in the playoffs. The Bulls are on the outside looking in, and also the Hawks are on the outside looking in, and they are 500 in the last 10 games. So yeah, the East is pretty much set, and I guess when March Madness is over, everybody's going to be focused on the NBA. But I have to be honest, I haven't watched the NBA since March Madness. So let's go on to another story. NFL free agency. Anybody else have been traded or any moves have been made that you've noticed? Let's go to Ice first.
Not really. You just kind of see everybody's talking about when you look at what I find amazing is how the media was talking about they didn't know what grade to give the Bears in their off season. All of a sudden, everybody's trying to cover their tails. So they're acting like the Bears had this great off season, which they did by getting wide receivers and whatnot. And then they're going to have Caleb Williams as the #1 pick. But it's like, y'all just trying to make sure y'all don't get it wrong. Because if they don't do well, then what are you going to say? I mean, they talked to Jim Harbaugh with the Chargers, and he talked about letting the wide receiver go. Keenan Allen went over to the Bears. He's like, I'm happy for him. We get $26 million. Hip hip hooray. We can't afford that. So I'm happy for him. It's like, plus we don't want to pay that kind of money anyway. But the Bears are getting A's and whatnot. Falcons are trying to do well too. I think they're doing decent, picking up more wide receivers. I think they picked up Rondale Moore. But again, it comes down to Kirk Cousins and that Achilles. But I am one last thing I'll get off of this. Even though this is minor, I think it's something more to help this team. Joe Mixon being picked up by the Texans.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, they gave him a 2-year contract. I think he still has some fire left, and the factor of what he does, and he's going to play real hard. May not be the most dominant runner anymore. They got some other folks over there too. But the factor that you bring in, you had a team that's on the roll, they're making some moves, and you bring a guy that's really hungry, wants to still show the world that he can get some things done. I think he is going to help them tremendously. And that's what CJ Stroud said, that their head coach, everybody's bought in. They're trying to make a difference, bro. So yeah. I cannot wait to watch the Houston Texans. And I'm excited about them. I like the coach, I like the attitude, and I think they're coming for some folks.
Yeah. One thing I noticed, and it was done kind of quietly, the day after the Super Bowl, San Francisco gets rid of their defensive coordinator. Then one by one, they're starting to pick off that defense, those defensive players off that. You had Chase, you had like cornerbacks, you had linebackers. They just kind of dismantling that defense all of a sudden. The Bears are the Bears. I think I talked about that last week. They probably get Caleb. I don't know. There's some talk with the Washington Commanders about Daniels and Mayer. And then they're talking about the Michigan quarterback. But I think Harbaugh is really wanting the Michigan. Dude, if you live here, you'd understand. This is what the Bears do. They like to talk about all this stuff, and you're right. They're going to make a mistake. And so they do what they do. It's almost like they want people talking about the Chicago Bears year round. And so they'll put out these stories, or somebody will come out with these stories. And then if you listen to sports radio, they're all hot on sports radio. This is how they make their money here. But Black, what have you noticed, man?
Yeah, it's interesting you talk about the quarterback for Michigan, because I guess he had a good combine.
Yeah.
Now you got the Washington Commanders saying they want him. They may take him, I think, at the #2. He's basically went up the charts with a standing as far as draft. I just don't get it, man. A combine, you're not playing against anyone. But they are what they are. you think about it, Zach Wilson did the same thing years ago, and that's how he duped the Jets in the draft. And so be wary. But I'm pretty sure, for the most part, Harbaugh would love to have him as his quarterback in the NFL. I mean, I'm sure that's what he would want. And I think he's going to turn that into the old what 49ers had, a quarterback that can basically, just give you move the chains and run the ball. I'm going back to what Houston did with the running back named Mixon. I think that's a great pickup, a huge pickup, man. For what that quarterback needs and how he can help him come out of the backfield, yeah. Other than that, I think NFL free agency kind of died down. I mean, people kind of talking more about what's going on. What's name came out for the most part. Tomlin came out and said that, again, Russell's the starting quarterback. We'll see what happens. But, yeah, it kind of quiet up a little bit. I'm just going to say this, man, because, I mean, I don't watch much sports on television. I usually just watch the speak. Please stop talking about that Prescott. I don't want to hear about that Prescott anymore. I don't want to hear about his contract. I don't want to hear about Aaron Rodgers. I don't want to hear. We talk about a bunch of guys that ain't done jack in a long time, bro, and giving them front row pages. They don't deserve it. They don't deserve it. Stop talking about it. I know people love the Cowboys, but I don't want to tune in and hear about that. Whatever Jerry Jones did with him, that's his business. When they win him, then they become relevant. Let's stop talking about the win all season.
All right, let's go to another topic. Me and Ice talked about this on our fight show, but I wanted to get your thoughts on this. The Tyson-Paul fight, man. Tyson's coming out. I think he's about 57 years old. He's coming out and fighting Paul. I said to Ice that the only way I'd watch this if Snoop Dogg was commentating the fight like he did in the Nate Robinson fight, and he's the third man, beside the ring commentating the fight. But other than that, just not interested. Your thoughts, man?
You know what? When I first heard this, I was like, this is some buffoonery, flat out buffoonery. But I will have to stand back and say the person that put this together, I'm gonna give him credit, man. Mike Tyson at 60 years old, you can never get this country. Let's be real, man. This country can never get enough of Mike Tyson. It is what it is. We can never get enough. So I know you're saying you're not going to watch it, and I know you, Boom. You may not watch it when it happens, but when everybody else starts talking about it, they start taking off the beard tops and being all that stuff, and you're going to be out, you might find yourself to Netflix to watch it, my brother, because at the end of the day, that's what Mike Tyson does, bro. It's not about the other cat. Mike Tyson brings people to watch and pay attention, man. He's been a lightning rod for that his whole entire career. So just the mere fact that he's getting into the ring at this age, I know the cat's wearing a head protector and that stuff, but I've seen a couple of film clips. I don't know how long he could do it for. But that cat throwing some punches, I would not want to be on the other end of those punches. That's all I'm saying. So that alone, man. I mean, so with a genius marketing plan and quiet as it's kept, Netflix is becoming a player, bro. Netflix, through this move, is becoming a player into sports, boxing. And to me, that's the quiet thing that's going on here, bro. What are they going to do next?
All right, Ice. Give it to us.
Man, look, like I told you. People, I mean, the rules are just preposterous, man, for real. It's preposterous, for real. I'm serious. And if you don't think now that this is not real, I'm serious. And then the rules are just kind of get people to go whatever. He get to wear a headgear, and then he get to tag his brother in to fight against Mike. Man, I tell you what, I think one of Mike Tyson's friends had mentioned that they should be very careful. That's the Paul brothers, because they're coming in as if this is a joke. And as you've been saying, as you mentioned, Black Thor, that the way Mike Tyson is throwing some things, he might have a flashback and somebody can get hurt. And they're trying to say that because Mike Tyson is older and Jake Paul weighs him by so many pounds, man, if Mike Tyson throw a real bomb, bro, lights out. And I'm hoping if Jake Paul is the marketer that he says he is, and he wants to be the brand new P.T. Barnum, here's what you do. You tell Mike Tyson, we're going to go 3 rounds. And then the 4th round, I want you to give me the hardest thing you got, and we see what happens. You know how much money they will make off of that? All the replays and all of the whatever. And just take it, bro. You may not never fight again. Your career, the jig is almost up anyway, bro. So you might as well go out as being crushed by one of the greatest of all time. That's what I'm saying. I would do that. Not me, though. Out.
But isn't there a clause saying that Mike Tyson can't hurt them?
What that's the point. That's why I want you to you think it's how that's what I said. It's ridiculous. So if I'm Jake Paul, and I know my time's running up on the gig. When my jig is almost up, I'm telling Mike Tyson, give me your best shot and let me deal with the repercussions. Because you imagine how great that would be. People would be, oh my God, did you see Mike Tyson trying to kill that motherfucker? Dude, they be talking about it forever. Jake Paul would get millions and millions of dollars or whatever on what he's already getting. They'll be probably trying to replay it and all that other stuff. Netflix is like, hell yeah. Jake Paul, dude, he's a great marketer. He's a great marketer. He is. I mean, I don't consider him a boxer. He's a hell of a marketer. He built the young lady's career up, and she's doing an amazing job. But he's a hell of a marketer. So if that's me, I'm like, I'm gonna give the people what they want. Mike, you come out, don't even hold back, bro. And if whatever happens, happens. Do you know how they're gonna be talking about that forever? And then he throws another corny thing going on. Guess what? People will be watching it. Last thing I'm gonna say on this is real quick that I saw something where they said that the people that support Jake Paul, the majority of his fans, they're not the people that are gonna buy the pay-per-view. It's gonna be the other people, the boxing people, and that's how they're gonna make the money. That's why they're doing what they do. Yeah, and that's key. That is key. Very key.
All right. Yeah. Last second shot, Black.
You know, it came out a little while ago that Deion Sanders was telling Caleb, don't go play in Chicago. And, then he came out shortly after and said his Colorado players are going to choose where they want to go. Deion Sanders, be careful, bro. Be careful, man. Focus on doing what you're doing in Colorado. Don't reach out to people and try to influence them and have that negative influence, man. Don't do that. That young man should go to play where he wants to play, where he feels suitable. Don't do that. You had a good year in college football. Let that be it, man. We don't always need to hear your influence. Half the time it's half cop. I love you, bro. I do. But stop that.
Ice?
I'm going to get in trouble for this, but I got to say it because I heard it. I live in Columbus, Ohio. I saw where Ohio State basketball team, actually the powers that be, once they released Coach Holtman, like 7 games left in the season, they went out and they let Mr. Diebler, who was an assistant coach, take over, and they made a nice little run. So when making the decision, they decided to hire him as the head coach full time the rest of the way. And I think that was this is just me, that was primarily done because they wanted to keep a hold of the current players on the roster and for the foreseeable future. And that's great. You do what you want to. A lot of people supporting him. He's from Ohio, all of that. But it kind of, I have to admit, and I hope it works well. Hometown guy from Ohio, great story, whatever. But it made me cringe a little bit when I heard the news that damn team up north hired May from Florida Atlantic. Oh, yeah. That's the one guy I thought really could come to Ohio State. He's from the Midwest. He could have really made a difference and catapulted Ohio State basketball to where we wanted to be. And, you do what you do. But when I heard the team up north signing for 5 years, I was like, that hurt. Because I like the way he coaches. I like the way he goes about it. I think he's more of a, for me anyway, I don't get crucified for those that know, he's more of a national recruiter. And he's going to bring the guys in and they just play a fun way of basketball. But it is what it is. But yeah, damn. Anyway, just my thought.
Yeah. There's been some news in Mississippi about police brutality and crimes against Black folks in Mississippi. And the police unit that was doing it was called the Goon Squad. So it had me thinking, maybe we should, and I'm going to, put it up to these guys, maybe we should take the goon out of our name and just be known as the squad. Because for me, I don't want to be affiliated with anything like that. And people Googling that and seeing that we're carrying the same name. We're still the heavy hitters over here, but we won't be known as the Goon Squad anymore. So I'm gonna petition the fellows of that, so we'll start changing stuff on that and just be known as the squad. Peace.